Right now at 6, we check out the turnout for the first day of early voting in Oklahoma.
And we had some storms last night, but we're clearing out to have a fantastic Halloween forecast.
Plus, local hunters could soon have a way to benefit area food banks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And happy Halloween to those of you celebrating, whether you're trick-or-treating or watching scary movies. We hope you have a good day, and thank you for spending the morning with us. And you know, it was an interesting night last night with a lot of storms in the area.
It was spooky weather, to say the least.
Right.
We did have quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings. We had a tornado that was confirmed on the ground out in southern Missouri, out near Seneca, Racine. But we can go ahead and take a look outside. We'll talk about what we can expect today. Temperatures are in the lower 50s to start off, but we do start to warm back up just up to low 60s. Mid 60s for our high today, so not so bad. The rain amounts we got last night, about 3.5 inches out in Pittsburgh, about 2 inches in Joplin, and a little bit further north near Carl Junction, Webb City area. But further south near Miami, about 4.5 inches. Now you can see where this track was, and that is following the thunderstorm that actually dropped the tornado last night near Seneca, Missouri. It started off a little bit further south and out near Miami, south of Miami, but you can see that path of a pretty strong thunderstorm. And then in those northern counties, only about 1/2 inch to 2 inches of rain. So we got a good amount of rain, that we do have a chance of getting plenty more this weekend. Storm reports last night, we did have that one confirmed tornado, though most of the storm reports were isolated to wind damage reports. We did have straight line winds gusting 70 to 80 miles per hour. It was a pretty strong line of storms that passed last night, though luckily it's finally out of here. So we are shaping up to have a fantastic Halloween. Clouds are going to start to clear out as well just by mid-morning, and then we're gonna have partly cloudy skies for the rest of the afternoon. And taking a look outside, it's still currently overcast. Winds are gusting up to 30 miles per hour following that line of storms, so it will start to die down here in the next hour or so, and then they're gonna be out of the north. Temperatures are in the low 50s, gonna drop another degree or two before we start to warm up for the day. But overall, it is going to be a fantastic day, and I'll have a full look coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Well, in-person early voting is officially underway in Oklahoma. Now, all 4 states in the area are open for early voting. According to the Oklahoma State Election Board, more than 167,000 people participated in early voting for the 2020 presidential election. Ottawa County election officials say they expected to see high turnout again this year. Long lines are already formed at some early voting locations, so officials encourage voters to be prepared with a valid ID before they come to cast their ballots.
Definitely bring your ID. It needs to be an Oklahoma State issued or federally issued ID. It does need to be current, not expired, and be patient. You're going to wait in line.
Early voting in Oklahoma will continue daily until Saturday at 2 p.m. You do not have to pre-register to participate. And to anyone worried about their safety when going to the polls this election season, local election leaders say you can relax. We visited Jasper County and Crawford County. They've added extra security. They say voters have been respectful.
Biggest problem that we've had is people placing campaign signs where they're not supposed to, or electioneering at the polls. And that in itself can get very heated. There has been other counties where there's actually been fights breaking out at the polls because of that. We haven't had that issue in Jasper County before.
Well, Davis says all poll workers are trained on how to deal with uncomfortable situations. With the holiday season in full swing, food banks in our area are preparing for their busiest time of year and the struggles and food shortages that go along with it. However, there is one program in Missouri that could help with that. KOAM's Anthony Seviello tells us how hunters could make a big difference this year.
A food pantry with empty shelves. Not the most ideal look, especially with the holidays coming.
So we try to put together at least a week's worth of as well balanced food as we possibly can. We have to work with what we get and what we have, but we try to do the best we can.
Kathy Ginger, along with her husband Russ, run the Seneca Food Pantry. A majority of their food comes from Ozarks Food Harvest. But with so many other pantries receiving the same services,
people that come here, they're just like anyone else. They want to have the extras around the holiday.
sometimes things come up a little short, especially when it comes to meat.
Getting meats has been hard. If someone has, packaged meat from either a processor or from the store that hasn't been opened, we can receive perishable items.
I think right now it's the price of beef. Beef is skyrocketed.
However, the holiday season isn't the only thing going on this time of year. Many hunters in Missouri have either already begun or are getting ready for deer season.
If they want to do a total donation of their animal, they can do that. There's no cost to the hunter. They just bring it in. Now, we do have to have a telecheck and confirmation number from their tag. And then there's no cost to them if they just want to drop it off.
Goodman Meat Processing is one of the local processors that partakes in what is known as Share the Harvest.
Another thing that Share the Harvest does is for people who are landowners. Say they don't need the meat because they raise their own beef or pork or whatever the case may be. This allows them an opportunity to manage the deer herd on their property without having to try and find a place to go with it.
Whether it's the hunter who bagged a trophy or a landowner needing to clear out the population, Share the Harvest provides the chance to do some good.
In our small community, I tell everybody that hunts, if you have extra deer that you're not going to use, donate it to the pantry.
In Newton County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And if you're looking for a way to help area food banks, we've got you covered. For 21 years, Fox 14, KOAM, and the CW have teamed up with our generous neighbors and friends like you to help support food pantries through Feed the Four States. And we're doing it again this winter. There are several ways you can help. Head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/feed to check out all the ways you can help feed the 4 states. And that's a look at our top news stories and weather for our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Chipotle is taking a closer look at the amount of food it serves after many complaints from their customers. Plus, the battleground blitz continues for both presidential candidates with Election Day now just 5 days away. And Lindsay Gaffney returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Chili's apparently has the recipe for success. The parent company of the casual dining chain reports a 14% jump in same-store sales at locations compared to a year ago. Now, that's better than expected. The location also saw a 6.5% increase in traffic, and it comes as Chili's continues to perform strongly with promotions that target its fast food rivals and menu items that are going viral on TikTok. Well, the chain introduced a burger meal deal in the spring that took on one of McDonald's signature menu items. And Chipotle is taking a closer look at the amount of food it serves to customers. The Mexican restaurant chain's interim CEO, Scott Boatwright, addressed the issue during an earnings call Tuesday. Now, Boatwright says there's been a rash of complaints on social media regarding inconsistent portion sizes at Chipotle, and apparently there's some truth to this outrage. Now, earlier this year, an analyst from Wells Fargo weighed 75 of Chipotle's burrito bowls at several New York City locations. Now, the end result, varying portion sizes. A former Chipotle official says employees were never told to serve different amounts of food, but adds a reevaluation of the overall process is needed. Well, private sector hiring blew past expectations this month. According to ADP's latest national employment report released on Wednesday, private sector employers added 233,000 jobs in October. Now, that's a sharp rise from the 159,000 jobs reported for September. Job gains were expected to drop off in October, mainly due to an ongoing slowdown in the labor market, but also because of fallout from the ongoing Boeing machinist strike and hurricanes Helene and Milton. While ADP's tabulations don't always correlate with the official jobs report from the Labor Department, it's sometimes viewed as a proxy for overall hiring activity. Well, the battleground blitz continues for both top presidential candidates this Halloween, with Election Day now just 5 days away. Today, the focus is out west with former President Donald Trump in New Mexico and Nevada, and Vice President Kamala Harris also in Nevada as well as Arizona. Yesterday, both candidates also had dueling events in Wisconsin and North Carolina. Jared Hill reports from Detroit with more on that and the push to get union voters to the polls.
In a branded garbage truck, former President Donald Trump grabbed onto a gaffe by President Biden.
I can tell you who the real garbage is.
Continuing the controversy over Biden's comment while speaking to Latino voters.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American.
The president later clarified he was referring to the disparaging joke at a Trump rally about Puerto Rico.
I can assure you we're not garbage.
At Trump's Green Bay rally, former Packers quarterback Brett Favre also played up the comments. Further south in Madison, Vice President Kamala Harris brought her own star power with performances from Mumford & Sons and Gracie Abrams.
Just like Wisconsin's state motto tells us, we will move forward.
It was her third stop of the day after stumping through North Carolina, which Trump also hit, and Pennsylvania. Yesterday, a judge there extended the deadline for mail-in voting in Bucks County after former President Trump filed a lawsuit over long lines and reports of voters being turned away. Voters there now have until close of business tomorrow to apply for and receive a mail-in ballot. The Midwest is home to hundreds of thousands of union workers, which could be key in tight races in swing states like Wisconsin and here in Michigan. Angel Sharp has been knocking on doors in Detroit for months.
I might have knocked over at least 500.
Encouraging fellow members of the Service Employees International Union to get out and vote. What are you hearing from people about what they're hearing about the candidates?
I tell them it's best to always look it up for yourself.
Jared Hill, CBS News, Detroit, Michigan.
Now, both Harris and Trump will return to Michigan in the lead up to election in a final push to win the toss-up state. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Lindsay with a look at your forecast.
After storms cleared out, we still have some overcast conditions to deal with through the morning hours, but they do clear out. Temperatures are going to reach low to mid 60s today for our high. So overall, it's a fantastic Halloween. A New Hampshire man is poking fun at a flood of campaign signs by putting one up for himself. And he's not even running for office. Ross Kazecki has the story.
Signs everywhere. There's signs.
It feels like you can't escape them anymore.
They're an important part of campaign strategy for candidates looking to get a win, signed, sealed, delivered.
Every time we leave, every time we come home, they're just everywhere.
Andy Brown saw the sign, or more like dozens of them, at the end of his road in Goffstown. And even though he's not a politician, he wanted in on the action.
It was not very expensive, so I just decided I would order my own sign.
Enter his creation. Andy Brown, not running for anything, just wanted a sign. Hiding in plain sight, it took his wife a little while to catch on.
I don't actually know how long it was. I'm told it was weeks.
And like any successful political movement, his sign started to inspire others to make their own.
It happened to be a friend of a friend in town. And so that one says paid for by friends of Andy Brown.
Now, it's always important to read the fine print with anything in politics. So let's just take a look. Paid for by Andy Brown's lack of fiscal responsibility, instigated by friends of Andy Brown.
Because there's some big signs up there now. And so I wanted a big sign as well, just to kind of fit in.
And yes, he likes big signs, and he cannot lie. Signs are, after all, a big part of politics. In the governor's race this year, the Kelly Ayotte and Joyce Craig campaigns have each spent tens of thousands of dollars on printed products, including shirts, buttons, and yes, those campaign signs. Brown says it can all be a little overwhelming, and in an election year that has so many people on edge, he's just hoping to help his neighbors crack a smile.
There's been a lot of strife about those signs at the top. And so I just thought that we needed a bit of levity.
The New Hampshire Attorney General's office says since he's not a candidate, Brown's signs are completely legal and do not need to follow the same rules as people on the ballot. Now let's check in with Lindsay for a quick look at the forecast.
It is Halloween and we're heading into a perfect Halloween evening, perfect for trick-or-treating. Temperatures dropping down to low 60s by this afternoon, 6 p.m. and then getting down to upper 40s by midnight. So it's going to be a cooler evening, but light winds out of the north, so we're not dealing with a strong breeze, and it's going to be mostly clear as well. So overall, it's going to be a great Halloween, and temperatures and sunny skies continue through Friday. Well, we had some pretty strong storms last night. They have cleared out, so mostly cloudy skies out in downtown Pittsburgh, and temperatures are much cooler. Now, we did have a tornado that touched down, and it dropped down starting right around Afton, just outside of Fairland as well, and then it moved northeast at about 30 miles per hour before we eventually got footage of it out in Racine, Missouri. As you can see, this is about 10:50. Now, the tornado warnings initially started at 10:27. It touched down, radar indicated, out near Fairland, and then picked back up before it hit Seneca before dropping back down. And this is the footage that we got from a viewer before it finally picked back up for good. So we did have some pretty significant storms. Outside of that, we had quite a bit of storm damage as well reported, mostly from wind damage, with winds gusting 70, even pushing 80 miles per hour. We also had quite a bit of rain, so that strong thunderstorm that dropped the tornado was out near Fairland, Miami, outside of Veneta as well. So you can see that path that it took. This strong storm was initially dropping quite a bit of rainfall, all the way up to about 4.5 inches of rain out in Miami. So quite a bit of rainfall, quite a strong damaging storm that passed by. The rest of us, especially in the northern counties, got about 1.5 to 2 inches of rain near Joplin, about 2 inches, Pittsburgh, about 3.5 inches. So we did get quite a bit of rain, and we're thankful for that. We're heading into the weekend to get even greater chances of rainfall accumulation, which will hopefully help us with our severe drought that we're in. Rain has cleared out of here. We still have mostly overcast skies all the way out to Independence and Chanute and Bartlesville, but it is going to start to clear out. We're going to have partly cloudy skies for the rest of the day, but through most of the morning, these overcast skies. Temperatures dropping down to just about 50, 51 degrees. We've got this light breeze out of the north. Still gusts following right behind that front, up to about 30 miles per hour, but they do clear out. Temperatures today only getting up to the low 60s, low to mid 60s across the area, so it's much cooler. This is actually about average for this time of year. And then the rest of the afternoon is looking fantastic. About 61 degrees by 6 p.m., dropping down through the 50s by 10 p.m., and then upper 40s by midnight, with our overnight low dropping down to low 40s. So this is perfectly right on track for average temperatures this time of year. However, as we move into Friday, we start to warm back up to low 70s. So we're creeping back up. Mostly overcast skies as we head into Friday evening, and then even a couple of isolated showers as early as 10 p.m. But most of the scattered thunderstorms and scattered showers are coming in on Saturday, in the mid-morning to early afternoon, continuing till, well, pretty much until Tuesday. So we've got these scattered shower chances, scattered thunderstorm chances heading into early Sunday morning, and that continues. More scattered thunderstorms return late Sunday night into early Monday morning, and then we're actually having a cold front move through on Monday as well, Monday afternoon into the evening. So there's our frontal boundary. As you can see, winds are shifting out of the north right behind it, and then that front passes. However, it looks as of right now to just pass south of us, or the strongest part of that front pass just south of us, but we do still get the winds out of the north. Now, with thunderstorm chances continuing for the weekend leading up to these storms, the likelihood that we receive strong, severe thunderstorms is slim. We're going to keep an eye on it though. By the end of all of the rain chances, we could see anywhere from 1.5 inches up to 6 inches of rainfall accumulation, and that's fantastic. We definitely need it. Also on Sunday is fallback, so don't forget that. But the next couple days are looking fantastic. Average temperatures and sunny skies. Now it's a look at forecast. We'll be over with Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, researchers say they found the sweet spot for when it's safe to have surgery when recovering from a heart attack. A study by the University of Rochester found people 67 and older should delay any elective surgeries for 3 to 6 months after they've had a heart attack. Those months of recovery can drastically lower the risk of life-threatening complications. And women who go through menopause later in life are at greater risk for developing asthma. A study published in the journal Menopause found an increase in asthma cases among women who went through menopause at age 51 and older. Now, while the reason isn't clear, multiple studies have suggested there's a link between asthma and sex hormones. And young people with severe obesity who had weight loss surgery are seeing significant health benefits 10 years later. A study by the National Institutes of Health looked at teens around the age of 17 who underwent gastric bypass or sleeve gastrectomy surgeries, 10 years ago, the patients saw a more than 50% reduction in type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and abnormal cholesterol. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, NEO A&M cuts the ribbon on a brand new nursing simulation lab.
And we had some severe thunderstorms last night, but we're going to take a look at your Halloween forecast coming up.
Plus, Kansas National Guard members and a lawmaker come together to celebrate servicemen and women.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 6:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And happy Halloween. It's hard to believe that Halloween is, already here. And that, because to me, when I feel like, okay, it's Halloween, that means, Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then the New Year. And I can't believe it's just a couple months away.
It's not even a couple months away. It's like, what, Thanksgiving is in 3-4 weeks?
Yep.
So just under a month.
The holiday season.
And then a month after that, yeah, Christmas. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I'm actually already going to start decorating for Christmas. It's my tradition on Halloween. I decorate for Christmas. Yeah. It's a little backwards, I think, but that's okay. But it's a perfect day for trick-or-treating. Sure. In fact, we had storms last night, which cooled us off just perfectly, and I'm glad they cleared out in time as well. We can go ahead and take a look outside. We have temperatures in the low 50s to start off, but we do warm up to the low 60s today. So it's right about average for this time of year. Mid 60s is where we're normally seeing these temperatures with overnight lows in the mid to lower 40s. Now, we did get a lot of rain last night, which we are thankful for. We needed it. We even have more chances of rain as we head into the weekend. The northern counties near Chanute and north, less than an inch and a half. And then out in Pittsburgh, about 3 inches of rain. Now, there's one thunderstorm that passed by. It did drop a tornado, and it started off in our southern counties in Oklahoma and moved all the way up just south of Joplin before finally dissipating. And you can see it dropped quite a bit of rainfall as well as that tornado, and it dropped about 4.5 inches of rain out near Miami, and then out near Joplin about 2 inches of rain. So not all of us received a ton of rain. A lot of us get some pretty strong damaging winds, wind gusts up to 70, 80 miles per hour, and a little bit of hail reports as well. Now, all the rain's out of here. Clouds are going to start to clear out. You can see overcast skies kind of continue all the way out to Independence and Chanute before it starts to move off to the east, and then we're going to have mostly clear skies, though partly cloudy. As of right now and through most of the morning, it's going to be overcast skies to start. Just following the line of storms, winds are still gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Will start to die out here soon, especially as the line of storms gets further to the southeast of us, and winds are out of the north. So it's going to be a great day. Light breeze. Halloween forecast is clear skies for the most part, mostly clear skies, and temperatures in the low 60s, low to mid 60s before dropping down to low 50s by 9 p.m. So it's going to be a great day for trick-or-treating. I'll have a full look forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, U.S. Representative Jake LaTurner arrived in his hometown of Galena, Kansas to host Salute to Service. Now, the event recognizes the work of the Kansas National Guard. A Black Hawk helicopter from Kansas Army National Guard landed on the Galena High School's football field, giving students a chance to meet the pilot and get a tour of the helicopter. Now, this is the first Salute to Service event at Galena High School in more than 25 years.
But our military men and women are the ultimate heroes in our lives, in our country. They're what we should strive to be every single day. It's the most selfless act anybody could do.
Recruiters also attended the event, giving students the chance to learn about career options with the National Guard. NEO A&M in Miami celebrated the opening of a new nursing simulation lab with a ribbon cutting and open house yesterday. Now, the lab includes multiple simulation areas designed for high-fidelity simulated scenarios to teach and enhance skills and knowledge. Now, the simulations provide the opportunity to train students on complex medical scenarios without risk to patients.
Thanks to our legislators, state of Oklahoma, to help us provide the funding for this nursing simulation lab. This nursing simulation provides a low-risk environment for our students to practice hands-on training in a simulation lab.
Now, the NEO Nursing Simulation Lab was constructed and supplied with equipment thanks in part to ARPA funding from the state legislature. Now, the Wyandotte Nation also donated $100,000 towards the project. The city of Joplin wants to make a change in its sewer rates. The city held a public meeting yesterday evening to present information from the recent rate study of the city's wastewater treatment plant. Now, the meeting gave the public a chance to learn about this study and proposed 4% annual sewer rate increases. City staffers were on hand to address public comments and questions.
We project them out over a 10-year period, even though it's a 5-year rate study. But we try to look ahead for the next 10 years. And then in addition to that, we do know that we will have an upcoming plant expansion for the Shoal Creek wastewater treatment plant.
Now, if the rate hikes are approved, they would begin next year. The city of Joplin announced the theme for the 54th annual Christmas parade. The parade theme this year, Winter Wonderland, will take place at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 3rd. Now, the parade route will be on Main Street from 15th Street to 2nd, and the Joplin mayor says the parade is a must-see event.
The Joplin Christmas Parade is one of those events that you've got to get to every year. You've got to get downtown, you've got to get your spot and see all the great things that go on. All of our local bands will be in there, bands from across the region. We'll have tremendous floats that are put together by many of the great organizations we have here in our community.
Anyone interested in having an entry in the Winter Wonderland Parade or just looking for more information can head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We hear there'll be an appearance by St. Nick. Babies at the NIC unit at Freeman in Joplin put on their holiday best yesterday. The tiniest residents at the hospital put on a variety of costumes such as a Gatorade bottle, a crayon, and even a teeny tiny version of Freeman Health System's president and CEO, Paula Baker. The event always serves as a way to bring a smile to the faces of the families on the NICU floor.
Well, we don't want the babies to miss their first Halloween just because they're here in the hospital. The families really love it. The nurses love it. We all love it. It's exciting for the families and for us.
There are currently 17 babies in the NIC unit at Freeman. And it's never too early for candy, and some boys and ghouls gathered at Pittsburgh's Bicknell Center last night for this trunk or treat event. It was put together by Pitt State Student Government Association, and students from various PSU clubs handed out candy and led games and activities.
I think trunk or treats have kind of started to spread throughout the nation for kind of a goal in particular. That's just to offer a safe place for people to have some Halloween fun. And I think that's what we're really trying to provide here. At the same time, I really think it's cool that there's a lot of clubs here, and we're giving them the opportunity to really, come out, show what they're all about, have a little Halloween fun and get to know the community as well.
This is the second year the Student Government Association has organized this event. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Starbucks will no longer charge customers an extra fee to substitute non-dairy milk. And we have a cooler and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the U.S. economy grew 2.8% last quarter, boosted by strong consumer spending. Now that's slightly down from the 3% posted the previous quarter, but slightly higher than economists had predicted. Well, the big change is coming to Starbucks next week. The company says starting on November 7th, it will no longer charge customers an extra fee to substitute non-dairy milk, such as almond, coconut, oat, or soy milk to drinks. Starbucks says this is one of its customers' most requested changes and should save coffee lovers more than 10% on their purchases. And today is, of course, Halloween, and multiple eateries are giving out some scary good deals. People who show up wearing their Halloween costumes can get a free donut at Krispy Kreme or a free cookie at Insomnia Cookies at participating locations. Chipotle reward members who wear a costume can get a $6 burrito or other entree. There's no costume necessary to get a free treat at Johnny Rockets or Elevation Burger with promo code. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Lindsay with another look at your forecast.
Well, we have had a bit of rain so far today, but as we head into the weekend, we could see another potential drop of rainfall up to possibly 6 inches of rain across the area. Now, we're going to have a full look at that coming up. It's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. They're up after the break, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, acting greats Tom Hanks and Robin Wright join us to talk about reuniting after 30 years on their new film called Here. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Well, it's time to celebrate some Halloween birthdays here in the 4 states, starting with Boston and Brogan Hutto turning 13 today. Says here, love Dad, Leah, and Addie.
And Tyler Westhoff turning 33 today with his son Nash. Happy birthday, Tyler.
And over in Chanute, a happy 59th birthday to Julie Haffler.
And 60th birthday to Jeanette Raymart from Thayer, Kansas. Happy birthday.
And a happy 88th birthday to Jimmy Lovell in Pittsburgh.
And out in Columbus, Kansas, we're celebrating Jamie Aldo's birthday. Happy birthday, Jamie.
And celebrating their 8th anniversary today is Tabitha and Hector Bernzunza. Happy anniversary.
And a huge birthday shout out to our very own Dow Quick. Happy birthday, Dow.
Yes, happy birthday to you, Dow. And oh, there is also Dow as a vampire now, because, sometimes we'll joke that he's been here for so long that it's almost like he's a vampire because he looks great, and he looks great in that. He looks great in that photo too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Dow.
All right. We're also celebrating a 100th birthday to Louis Sachetta, Medical Lodge's resident.
And a happy anniversary in Pittsburgh to Stephen Gale Allen.
June Renfro from Columbus, Kansas. Happy birthday from everyone at the First Christian Church of Columbus.
And a happy birthday to Jason Wren in Pittsburgh. Now, that was a fantastic Birthday, Liz, and happy birthday and anniversary to everyone celebrating today on this Halloween day. Now, if you'd like to submit your birthdays or anniversaries, you can do so by emailing birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those photos, messages to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen, and to also include the day of your celebration when submitting. Now let's head over to Lindsay for a look at the forecast.
Well, taking a look at downtown Pittsburgh, it's still partly cloudy skies out there, mostly overcast until the next several hours, but all the rain has cleared out. Now, we did have a tornado that touched down, and it started out near Afton in Oklahoma, moved towards Fairland before it was reported as a confirmed tornado, radar indicated out in Fairland. Now, it continued to move north-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. It picked up right around Seneca, dropped back down, and we actually have footage of it out near Racine, Missouri. This was about 10:50. Now, the warning started at 10:26. And then it continued all the way until about 11:15 before completely clearing out of the area. It was a pretty strong storm. And this is the footage of the actual tornado given to us by a viewer. So we did have that confirmed tornado, and we actually have, this is the storm that started it. You can see it dropped quite a bit of rainfall as it moved up towards the Joplin area, just south of Joplin, dropped about 4.5 inches of rain across that pass. So it was a very strong thunderstorm that did drop that tornado. The rest of us mostly just got wind damage reports, straight line winds with winds gusting 60, 70, even pushing 80 miles per hour. And you can see all in the yellow was about 2 to 3 inches of rain, and then in the green, which is the northern and northwestern counties, about less than half of an inch or 1.5 inches. So we did still get quite a bit of rainfall, though we've got more to come as we head into this weekend. Our rain from these storms last night have cleared out. We still have those overcast skies now starting to move out of Chanute and Independence and pushing east. So over the next couple of hours, we're going to start to clear up. But until then, mostly overcast skies, temperatures in the low 50s, so just about 50, 51 degrees. We've got that light breeze out of the north with a few gusts up to 30 miles per hour just as that front is moving out of our area. But by this afternoon, temperatures getting up to the mid to lower 60s, partly cloudy skies, so we're breaking the clouds up a little bit, and then light breeze out of the north. So it's going to be a fantastic Halloween. If you plan on trick-or-treating, temperatures are holding out great for it. We've got mostly sunny skies all afternoon. Again, a few clouds, but overall not so bad. And then temperatures in the low 60s by 6 p.m., dropping down through the 50s up to upper 40s by midnight, with our overnight lows dropping down to the low 40s. So this is right about average for this time of year, and that's perfect. We've been needing this. We've been above average for quite some time. As we head into Friday, temperatures are warming up to the upper 60s, low 70s, so starting to get slightly above average. Mostly cloudy skies by mid-afternoon, and then we're going to start to see a few showers pushing in by mid-morning on Saturday. Scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms more in the later evening hours and continuing into early Sunday morning. And then we're going to have heavier rain showers on Sunday with more thunderstorms returning Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, these are not a part of a cold front. They're just storms from the south. But as we move into Monday afternoon, we do have a cold front pushing in. You can see that line of storms forming. This is going to be late afternoon on Monday as it moves in. But with the thunderstorms that we see the last couple of nights, it's going to eat up a lot of the energy in the atmosphere. So we might not even see severe threats. We might just see some thunderstorms, some lightning, and heavy amounts of rain. But as you can see, there is our cold front, our line of storms, and it's mostly strongest south of us. So we might not even see the main part of that cold front before it moves out of the area, and we've got those winds to the north after Tuesday. So the amount of rain that we could see throughout the entire weekend, collectively up to 6 inches in some areas, 5 inches in Joplin, 4 inches in Chanute. So we could see quite a bit of rainfall accumulation as we head into this weekend, which is exciting. We need it. We've been in a severe drought for quite some time. Now, outside of that, we do have more rain chances the following weekend as well. But until then, we're going to enjoy these temperatures, mid 60s Thursday, low 70s Friday, and then we actually have fall back on Sunday, so don't forget to change your clocks as well. Now, coming up on when the KOAM morning news switches on over to Fox 14, we'll see how AI is bringing animals back to life using a unique experiment.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. NEO-A&M in Miami celebrated the opening of a new nursing simulation lab with an open house. Now, the lab includes multiple simulation areas designed for high-fidelity simulated scenarios to teach and enhance skills and knowledge. Now, the simulations provide the opportunity to train students on complex medical scenarios without risk to patients. And the city of Joplin wants to make a change in its sewer rates. The city held a public meeting yesterday evening to present information from the recent rate study of the city's wastewater treatment plant. If the rate hikes are approved, they will begin next year. And a Missouri initiative called Share the Harvest provides an opportunity for hunters to donate their deer to help food trucks with their shortages. Both the Seneca Food Pantry and Feeding Incorporated in Carthage receive much of their fast food from the Ozarks Food Harvest. One of the most difficult items to stock is meat. Food banks in our area are asking for more donations as the holiday season approaches. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And taking a look at our forecast, today it's fantastic. Partly cloudy skies as the clouds do clear out after the rainstorms, and then temperatures only getting up to mid to lower 60s, so we're right about average for this time of year, with our overnight lows dropping down to low 40s. Tomorrow we're starting to creep back up to low 70s. Rain chances continue for the weekend starting Saturday and then ending early Tuesday morning, and it's also fall back on Sunday, so get your extra hour of sleep as you head into Sunday.
It sounds like a plan. I am, absolutely.
You have no idea. I will be snoozing the alarm.
Yes.
Probably for hours.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making candy bar cheesecake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Emily Frankowski joins us in the studio to give us a preview of what Connected Culture has lined up for the month of November.
Plus, Debbie Blackman also joins us in the studio to talk about the Fall into Wine Tasting fundraisers that is happening this Sunday. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.